Now Debbie, Katie, and Jonathan are going to have a message followed by a song.
As we've been approaching this day, I felt like I've been able to hold it together pretty well, but I apologize ahead of time if I lose it. So I wanted to, I'll kind of highlight, my dad from my point of view, as we've had different points of view throughout this service, and mine's very different. I didn't get to know Dad as the way some of you have. And I enjoyed my time with Dad. Some of the things that kind of came out to the surface as I've been thinking about all the memories that just flood, and it keeps coming back to Dad being supportive, being a listener, and he taught me a lot. And I think I could speak for my siblings as well, is that he taught us a lot. Whether it was just taking the time to teach us how to mix cement, to shoot a basketball, slam dunk a graham cracker, changing oil in my first car. I'm still not great at it, but he got me started. And cars, we saw pictures of his cars. He enjoyed his cars. Some of my favorite times were also car related. Not always fixing the cars, but he would take us places. We'd get to go to the Seahawks games and different sporting events, and I got to borrow the convertible once, but that was it. Some of the greatest conversations we had were in cars, where he was driving us to school, and once in a while he'd have a Kiwanis meeting, so we'd swing even earlier. We always thought it was pretty early anyways, but then we had to go even earlier. Just waking up, he'd drag us off, and we'd go to an early meeting, Kiwanis meeting, but there was a good side to that too, where we got to throw down a plate of pancakes when we were at this meeting at a restaurant. And but these were great conversations that we had in the car, and as I think back to those conversations, a lot of time it had to do with listening. Listening comes out a lot, and I think about, yes, he taught us a lot, but he took a lot of time to listen. And whether I was right or wrong, we'd be listening to the talk radio or discussing. A lot of times it came to sports, so it'd be discussing, the new acquisitions of the latest player for a sports team, and we'd be thinking about all the possibilities, and so we'd discuss what these new possibilities would be, and then quickly after the downfall when that didn't work out for our sports teams. So, a lot of those times, those discussions with, like I said, it is whether I was right or wrong, he listened. He wanted to know what we thought, what we had to say, and he was very supportive, no matter what. Supportive through, again, cars come. He was driving me up to Bellingham to my fourth college and still supporting me, and I think Mom probably, maybe she felt differently, like, hey, let's hold up here. But he was driving up there and showing me around Bellingham where he went to school. And he listened, he supported, and he never quit. He never quit. I didn't get to know the educator side quite as much through our discussions as I was starting to move in that direction, as he was starting to decline. So, I didn't get to have all of those questions answered, but his last year working for the school. I was just starting off as a paraeducator. And so at that time, I was just kind of filling in between the school years, and as the school year for college didn't quite match up with the school year for elementary, so I'd kind of bump in there where I could. And I remember this point, this was where I was out in Mountain View, and I was helping out with the life skills program, and I had the kids out for recess, and we were playing kickball. And I remember Dad kind of, he would take the time, and he was out at recess as well. And I don't know if he did that every time, or if he was just, keeping an eye out on me, making sure things were going okay. But he kind of found his way over quietly and kind of checked in and said, how are things going? And I was able to tell him, things are going well. And there weren't a lot of words shared at that point. And I don't know if there had to be, but I felt that support. Even without many words, I felt that support constantly. And I'm very grateful for that time. Thank you.